Okay, good afternoon and welcome to our second annual I guess not annual, Newcomers tournament. We've got Death Thrower, Dammit Carl, Elmet, and Mama B here. So taking a look at it, it is a power colony and there are 4 geos. So that's 3 out of the 4 are down here in this corner, which is of note. We've got the aluminum's going to start high and the silicon's going to start high. I'm not seeing great scavenger spots. This looks like a robot colony, and then and there we go. Mama B is going to go for a robot. I would expect I'm going to see like maybe 3 robots and then something else. We've got a scavenger here. That's actually a decent spot because you're close enough to this little water triangle. There's not very much water in the map. Let's take a look over here. So we've got six water tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll take a look at the black market. We've got claims, we've got spies, we've got magnetic storms. No pirates are there. EMP is really the only good offensive weapon. And then we've got dynamite and mutiny. So it's not necessarily the best place for a scavenger, just because it's not an incredibly strong black market to hit other people with, in my opinion. So we'll take a look at Mama B. Mama B is already off to HQ2, and that's actually a good start. Mama B should be the first one to get to HQ2 because, of course, Mama B started first. So these are two. Let's see. These are 2 metal mines over here away from the base. So this is an aluminum and then a god tile. I don't know that I necessarily agree with this. Number one, I'm okay with taking the combo tile over here because you can transition it into some wind later. I guess I'm okay for it right now based on aluminum being so high, but it depends on what other people are doing. You can see Elman is going very heavily into aluminum, and so I have a feeling those Mama B's claims over here are going to become worthless relatively fast. We'll take a look at, I'll just call him Carl. Carl is sending aluminum way far away. I would actually be tempted, based on Elmet going extremely hard into aluminum, I would be tempted to just skip the aluminum right here. Everybody else has it, and this right here is a really far aluminum claim for Death Thrower, especially as robotic. You can skip aluminum, especially like at least until HQ3 or so. I'm okay with Mama B going for these mostly because they can be transitioned into power. Surprisingly, it looks like, let's take a look at Elman in terms of stockpile here. Elman is it not showing? Oh, there we go. So Elman is stockpiling a whole bunch of aluminum, not really selling down. That's actually a good move because there are a couple of other people that, well, now it's good to sell it down. There are a bunch of people in aluminum. Eventually, these far claims are going to become worthless. So let's take a look. I'm not used to this reordering when I go through the different when I toggle through the different people. I forgot about that. So we have a claim. There are claims on the market, so I'm expecting this would probably go for 18 or 20, mostly because of people are used to bidding about that much. I'm not sure how much I would really spend on it, honestly, because you can get claims for 4.5k, and that did go for 18k. This is where we've got to see if anybody went into wind. Somebody had to have gone into wind. Let's see. Carl is not in wind.
A scavenger HQ has been upgraded.
Let's see. Anybody in wind? Nobody is in wind, so they're missing a big opportunity in this case to be making a little bit of money. This is where Mama B could have switched this around. This is a good time to give up the aluminum and go into wind. I know that carbon's a little bit expensive, but Mama B is bringing that in. So that could easily be switched into wind, and you can take advantage of this dust storm and really start making some money. Let's see. I might have gotten Phil back. Did I?
Yes, I'm
Get back,
here.
Phil?
That errand. Sorry about that.
Excellent.
Emergency, but everything's good
problem.
to go.
All right, so I'm taking a look at Elman, and I like Elman's spot right here because Elman has here's a third wind turbine going up. For the most part, you know, a lot of that'll miss the dust storm. This last one will mostly miss the dust storm, but Elman has a good possibility of paying down a whole lot of debt. Oh, and then there was that was a good EMP there.
Good EMP, good use of that goon squad there, so at least one stayed up.
Yes.
Looking around at everybody else, there's some power. Not a lot, so the price will continue to go down, but he should make some money off of that once it comes back on in 20 seconds or so.
So what I was pointing out earlier is you've got so in the corner, Carl is I'm just calling Carl this time. Carl is shipping aluminum way across the map, and so is Death Thrower, and that's going to keep the power price really relatively high. And that, you know, the fact that they're robots really, I mean, that if there was one thing you could skip, it's aluminum for for robots, and especially because Elman had been in it for so long, and Elman is still in a significant amount of aluminum. It's probably about time to transition those out and go in solar.
Yes, especially considering aluminum's only $8. They should have no problem buying that up.
Yes.
Death Thrower right now is spending, ouch, 131 a second just on shipping that aluminum.
That's
so
a really good point.
That is a lot, and I think let's see, Carl's similar amount, 98, not as bad, but that's still really high shipping costs.
Mm-hmm. So power is already starting to crash out. I'm guessing that what Death Thrower is going to go for is something like superconductor, and that'll pretty much just decimate the power at this point. I would actually, because they're going for a patent lab, but if they do, and it's actually, I actually would not go for superconductor at this point because you're making money on power and you're going to crash the market if you go into it. It's I see that based on Death Thrower has a really interesting configuration here. Typically you'd want to go for a triangle, but there is something to be said about this long stick, just because EMPs are on the market, and so I'm okay with it. It may not be the most oh no, we can't hear you, Phil.
Oh, I'm here, sorry.
No, they can't hear you.
Oh?
Oh no. Alright, so we'll have
odd.
to, I know, we'll have to work on that. So you can, so since you can't hear Phil, he can just feed me good tidbits, and I can act like he's in the studio giving me good advice.
or you could abandon Blackmagic's stream and look at mine. I think my audio's coming out good. Can you hear me distorted signal?
I can actually hear Phil, but I don't think anybody else can. So, all right. Well, we keep going for right now, and we'll see if we can sort the audio out later on. So there's the power surge from Carl onto there onto Elman, and that's actually a decent surge just because food's so profitable. The electronics are still only making about $8. I don't know that I would have gone for.
Screw with us. We'll screw with you.
I don't know that I would have gone into electronics right now with the price of silicon and carbon so expensive. It's worth noting that perpetual motion, let's see, who was that? That's Elman is going into perpetual motion. Everybody is focusing on getting as much of the power, as many of the power patents as they can, but power is only 40, it's 46, 45. By this point, it's not worth going for that. I like the way that, say, Carl is going after teleportation. The nice thing about teleportation is that takes that really expensive silicon off the map, and then you're not consuming so much power.
Mm-hmm.
The patent that I don't like is Death Thrower. With the configuration that Death Thrower has, Death Thrower is going for thinking machines. That effectively projects 2 tiles It protects that metal line that's right there, and it protects that one steel mill, and that's it.
Right.
So
I would note for the power, and I'll keep it quick since everyone else can't hear me. With the increased colony growth, power should come back as people transition out of power into other things. So it might be a decent long game strategy.
And for people that can't hear him, Phil was mentioning that as the colony grows, it's going to increase the power price, and that'll come back as people start transitioning it. I mostly agree with that. With the one exception is that there are 3 robots, so the colony's not going to grow a tremendous amount because there are 3 robots. And even though it's a power colony, you look at how many geothermals are on the map. Let's see, we've got 1 from Mama B, we've got 2 from Death Thrower, we've got 1 from Carl, and then you've got things like Superconductor and the other one that I can't remember, Perpetual Motion, have already been taken. So with that, I'm not positive power will come back, but we'll have to see how that goes. That might be true.
I missed the multiple geotherms as I'm catching up.
Yes. So taking a look at this, we've got Element has 62%. Let me toggle back. 62%, mostly held in resources. Let's see. Carl has 30%, making money on power, but it's not really that helpful because power is only $9. Let's see, and then we've got Mama B is at 58%. A lot of money being held into glass and electronics, which is good. Is anybody in steel? Is the question. Because steel is 134k. Carl is
some steel also.
Death Thrower has steel. Yeah, Death Thrower doesn't have enough though.
No.
Only 2 steel mills. I like Carl's position because Carl's in steel. Carl's also got glass, which is relatively profitable. I'm trying to figure out, and Carl did get teleportation, so doesn't have to pay any more
transportation costs.
Transportation for those really far ones. Carl can, however, transition out of that medium aluminum there because aluminum's not worth too much. And let's see, Carl has 104 of it. I'd probably think about transitioning into a solar panel and just leaving it at this point.
That's something that new players tend to struggle with, remembering a transition. Something, speaking as a former new player, that's something that even to this day I still don't always remember to transition my aluminum pile out.
Yeah, you always want to make sure you transition it out and just set it to some power and forget it, as Phil was saying. In terms of position, for everybody that's out there, it'll sound like I'm talking to myself. I'm actually talking to Phil, and then I'll give you his insight. In terms of positioning, who are you liking at this point?
I'll keep talking and I'll take a look at everyone.
I'll keep talking and I'll give Phil a chance to take a look at it. I really like Carl's positioning. Steel is I'd actually like to see Carl go full on into steel. And there's one single chemical refinery, unless that's a hologram. No, there are no holograms here.
Saboteurs and villains.
I'd actually like to see Carl get rid of that single chemical refinery and almost commit into full steel at this point, because steel is so profitable, and people are going to start going into Offworlds at some point soon. Offworlds are 38k for a food launch. Let's see if anybody has any Offworld. I don't think anybody does, because there are no holograms here. This actually makes it easier to call.
In addition to what you're saying, I think Carl's in a great spot because with teleportation, he's the only one who's not really shipping anything long distance, and power creeping back up almost to 200. Fuel here's at 94 and dropping. Everyone else is paying a lot.
Yes. So everybody, so Phil's point was that now that power is creeping back up, as he did predict, as people transitioned out of it. I think part of that was Mama B was not selling it down. I can see that now it's being auto-sold, but unfortunately Mama B has all the production that's spread out. Actually, Mama B really needs... We talked about the combo tile and the aluminum over there. That's 1,500 worth of aluminum over there on a cliff. All of that could be transitioned to power a long time ago. That would help out a lot. So the negative of Mama B's configuration is, if you notice, Mama B has 2 weak wind turbines right next to the base. Those should be over on the side of the cliff, and then you can use these ones right next to you for something like steel, for instance.
Not to mention, at the moment, constructing solar panels is cheaper.
Yes,
wind
constructing.
Turbines.
Yeah.
So he would get, looks like, at that point, probably about 1 power a second with those solar panels. Whereas this wind turbine, he's only getting 0.6.
Yes. Yeah, those wind turbines are certainly not better than... well, the wind turbines are already up. The wind turbines have been up for a little while for Mama B. But in general, just sticking solar panels... Oh, you know what, though? Solar panels were really expensive earlier because we had the silicon price was around 90 or 100 for the longest time. So there is a mutiny that was attempted to be triggered by Death Thrower on Carl for that steel there, or I'm sorry, for the geothermal. That is, I'm okay with that, I guess, just because mutinies are so cheap, but it doesn't really give Oh, Phil's stream is fine sound-wise, I am being told by... This just in, breaking news. Phil's stream is fine, so maybe what we can do next game, we'll try to see if we can transition and have you stream, and maybe I can just backpack off of you.
Sure, that might be easier than troubleshooting. I noticed that right now we have everyone moving into optimization centers except for Mama B, and I do like that. I do believe though that... Okay, Carl's now researching optimizations, as is Death Thrower. Okay, everyone's starting to research optimizations now. A lot of them are doing water, which I'm not sure
the engineers have advanced on production.
Uh-oh, Death Thrower DC'd.
Oh no! Death Thrower disconnected. That's a shame.
That is a shame.
Alright, well, so I've noticed right now that Death Thrower, claimed the tile to get right next to the colony, and I'm assuming it's going to be an off-world market. I don't like that move at all. Even though you have a really fast launch, you've got mutinies are at 4.5k, dynamite's at 3k, network virus is at 4.5, and EMPs are still at a semi-manageable 14, so... Someone's going to knock that down, and it's going to take a while for, based on where Death Thrower's located, it's going to take they're never going to get a launch off as long as somebody's paying attention.
Right, and the same problem will apply to Carl, who has 2 off-worlds up right now. Before moving into off-worlds, there we go. Really cheap dynamite there. You want to drive up the price of both the dynamites, and in this case, the mutinies.
Yes, the dynamite needs to be a lot higher than that in order to go into an off-world. Otherwise, you're just throwing money away. The one thing I don't like, there was Carl does have a goon squad over there near where the chemical refineries are going up. I'd rather see the off-world over there, because at least you get 1 free goon. They'll probably pop it with a network virus, but it's worth preserving it, and maybe you can get a launch off.
Right.
The other thing to remember is the person with thinking machines is Death Thrower. So when you have thinking machines, you don't want to locate your off-world next to the colony right there. Of course, it's now an AI, and nobody's really noticing the off-world next to the colony, but that would be a prime target. Essentially, if you go through the trouble to go thinking machines, you want to locate it right next to your HQ. So,
Right, and his base setup wasn't the best for a thinking machines play either, since
yes,
in a straight line.
Correct. Now, one move that I really love out of Carl is going for the mutiny on Mama B, because Mama B is in D debt with 366k, and there's no coming back from that much debt. You just can't make enough money on world, and even with the off-world shipments, that as long as you take that off-world, they can't take it back. So that's a fantastic move from Carl, and I would think that Mama B should be the first one to be taken down, just because if you take out Mama B, you've got a strong subsidiary,
Right.
and you've got an off-world. So.
And his stock price has taken a hit as the D debt.
And Mama B is super cheap. You know, I just realized, what happens if Death Thrower as an AI wins this one? Because if you look at it, Death Thrower is actually in the strongest spot, because Death Thrower has an off-world. Nobody's really going to pay attention to the AI for the most part, but I mean, all of their stock, 250k, and off-world next to the colony with quicker launches. I wonder what happens.
That could be interesting. It would all depend on whether the sub-AI plays at the difficulty we set the lobby up for, or if it's a standard ranked sub-AI that kind of does nothing to influence the rest of the game.
So we'll have to deal with that when we come to it. Going back down to Carl, Carl's got these chemical refineries that are losing money because fuel is so expensive. It'd be nice to switch those out and go into some reactors. Reactors would be fantastic. Glass would be okay. Really, where you want to be at this point is reactors. Going over to Elman again, because Elman has had a really good. Let's see, is Elman selling down?
Optimization
auto selling chems right now.
Auto selling chems and not auto selling water, which is great. So even though Elman has got that about 900k in water, I would almost want to see people. Well, I guess there's enough water to go around for Carl. And Mama B is actually. I'm surprised. Mama B's stock is going up a little bit because of buying into Elman. I was wondering how the stock went down, but you can see the target value per share is $2.80, and the current value per share is $5.08. It's just this is the point where it starts crashing. So
right.
I'm really actually surprised that nobody's gone after Mama B.
Yeah, he should be a first target, especially with Carl here with 324k in resources right now. Mm-hmm. Part of that's in this reconstructing off-world down here at the bottom, so that number will drop once that off-world completes.
Yes.
But in fact, he could buy out Mama B right now, which he should.
Yes, Mama B should be purchased right now. You know, even just doing a shift buy, would be the way to do it. Get a subsidiary under your belt and make it a lot more.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. That puts
Carl.
Carl in a good commanding position for the rest of the game, especially since Death Thrower is an AI who doesn't appear to be targeting anybody.
Yes. So now it's really just a battle between Elman and Carl, and I've got to give the edge to Carl, not only because you own 100% a subsidiary, but you've also already got 2 stocks in Elman.
Right.
And that's where Elman needs to start. Elman is just amassing 483k. You've got to start buying into Carl quickly, and then finally they are, because that's going to boost your stock price when you start buying into them. So there's no point in just sitting on the cash, because it's getting more and more expensive as Carl buys into to Elman. You can see what the stock price, it's 71.80. you can see that just buying Mama B, which just about any of them could have done with the cash on hand, that's completely shifted the game. So
right.
whenever you have a new player, playing, think about getting the cheap buy. Don't necessarily go after the second strongest person. Go after the cheap person as long as they're a good subsidiary, and it'll give you a big boost to your stock price. So.
Right. Carl got both the big boost to stock price. You can see he's at 74 a share versus Elman 35. And now that Mama B sub has paid off its debt, Carl's starting to make some decent money off of it, which will continue to creep up as the game progresses.
So this looks like, and unfortunately for Elman, I don't think the AI actually does this, but the AI used to do things like have 100% on somebody and just randomly buy them out. I'm not sure that they actually buy anybody out anymore.
No, not when they're a sub AI. They just sit there and
amass money.
And don't try to affect the outcome of the game.
That used to actually happen, and it was incredibly awkward, where you were just wondering how you could become less appealing to the AI. Let's see. So Carl, I think, has I believe Carl has 100%.
What a
yes.
payout.
Yes, he doesn't have any. There we go.
And there we go. All right. Good game for Carl. Good game. It was a good game on Elman as well. At some point, though, with having to deal with those on-world prices, and you've got your food and your reactors, and all of those were really, really expensive, and then you're consuming, all the fuel and things like that. It was just a little bit too much, to go versus a robot. But let's take a look at the end game screen, and we'w see how it is. Death Thrower could have had a good, despite the somewhat awkward configuration, to start off with, Death Thrower could have had a decent claim to the game. Launched 750k, although some of that was just the fact that the Offworld was untouched based on having an AI there.
Right.
I would have loved to see somebody mutiny the AIs. One thing you can do is take advantage, if there's ever an AI with an Offworld, take advantage of it, because they're not gonna mutiny things back. So you can get a free Offworld off of an AI, or you can blow them up in terms of if somebody owns like a subsidiary or things like that, you can mess with other people's Offworld to affect their subsidiary income or to increase your income. So watch out for AI and subsidiary Offworlds. Let's see. So let's look at Carl. Carl made most of the money. 460k sold off-world for food, 377k on-world. It was just a good spread all around. I'm actually surprised that he didn't make more money on steel. It was only 245k, but it was a respectable amount. Elman, meanwhile, most of the money came off of food, on-world and off-world.
Right.
Okay.
His optimizations.
So let's take a look at the optimization. 17 for Carl.
That is, with prices that good, that's
yes.
Good.
And Carl did a good job in terms of just optimizing two of most things, as opposed to maxing things out. Typically, it's expensive to go for a perfect.
Right.
So you have to pay more and more and more to get that last amount of productivity.
It's tempting, as Black Magic said, better to spread them out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.